Hi, class. This is Mr. G, Mr. Garcia. Let's go back to way back in the beginning of the year, okay? So, we were on 1.1, we were on rational numbers. So, the essential question for this was what are the different ways rational numbers can be written? So, okay, rational numbers can be written, right? We found out you can write them as a fraction and as a decimal, yes? And the decimals, they can be repeating or terminating, right? So that's what we did. Well, first, we looked at this little eyeball diagram. Okay, we found out that inside, okay, we have the natural numbers. Okay, then after that, we have the whole numbers. Then we have the integers, and then on the outside, we have the rational numbers. Okay, you're gonna get a question like this on your quiz. Okay, so make sure you remember what this one. Okay, make sure you have this sheet. And then we went ahead and found out, the rational numbers, if they could be, they're repeating decimals or terminating decimals. Okay, so we changed these and we found out which ones were terminating or repeating, right? Okay, we also changed these numbers, these fractions into decimals, yes? We did that and found out if they were repeating or terminating, yes? And then the example four, we did it backwards. We went ahead and found out if these decimals, okay, we had to change these decimals to fractions now. All right, that's what we did. We did a couple of word problems on this. Okay, we turned this one into a decimal. We turned this one into a fraction. That's what we did. Okay. And then on the last one, example number 7, we went ahead and found out if these were the same as what's on the table. Okay, we did that. And we did summarize it. And the summary was what are the different ways rational numbers can be written? So we found out rational numbers can be written in two ways: fractions or decimals. And the decimals can be repeating or terminating. Okay, that is 1.1. Okay, then we went ahead and went on to 1.2. Okay, powers and exponents. Okay, so we went ahead and did this example in regards to me giving you money. Okay, would you like for me to give you $100 a day, or one penny and then doubling it for 30 days? So this was the better deal. Remember this one? Okay, and then example number 2, we were actually looking at the different parts of the power. So the bottom is the base and the top is the exponent. Okay, there's going to be a question like this. And then what we did here is we went ahead and took these powers, found that base, found the exponent, and then we expanded them. Okay, and then we found the actual value of them. Okay, that's what we did. Okay, we filled out this table right here in example number 4. Okay, we found out this was 11 to the third, and then we found out what the value was for it. Okay, that's what we were doing right here. Okay, so if you don't remember, look back at this. Okay, this is important because you're going to get a question like this. All right, and then on this, we found out that there's a lot of text messages done. Okay, and then how big the interstate was, we found that out as well, the highway. And then we did summarize it as well. The summary is what are the different components of a power? So the different components of a power are the base, okay, and the exponent. That's the two components, okay? The whole thing is called a power. All right, guys, that's 1.2. All right, now we're at 1.3. We're not going to go over 1.4 that much because we just finished it. So on this one, how do you multiply and divide expressions involving powers? Okay, okay, we found out on this example about the iPhone, we found out that there's a lot of memory in your phone, yes? Okay, there's a lot of memory. There could be 64 gigabytes in an iPhone, right? We found that out. We have a lot of big numbers here. Okay, then we went ahead and looked at product of powers. Okay, all right. So we went ahead and looked at product of powers. This is a monomial. Okay, these are monomials. So the monomial here was going to be 3 to the sixth. And we found the shortcut. The shortcut was you add the exponents. When you're multiplying these like this, all you do is just add the exponents, right? And so right here, you're going to get 3 to the 6th. We also did this right here, this whole table. Okay. Okay, we found out this was 5 to the 5th. This was x to the 9th. This was, okay, this was going to be 4 to the 6th. Okay, this was negative 2 to the 7th. This was x to the 6th, but then you just multiply these. So it was 12x to the 6th. This one was negative 10a to the 3rd. Okay, we did these. All right, these were easier. And then we went ahead and divided the powers, the quotient of powers. Okay, in this one, you had to go ahead and subtract these. So on this one, we found out we had to subtract these, right? So 8 minus 2 is 6, so 3 to the 6th. Now, if we expanded these, remember we expanded these and we crossed them off, we would get the same thing. Okay? And that's what we ended up doing here on these. So we went ahead and expanded them, and when we expanded them and we crossed them off, we ended up getting 5 to the 4th. But the easy way, the cheat way, or the simplified way is just subtract the exponents. So 7 minus 3 is 4, so it's 5 to the 4. On this one, it's 10 to the 8th, 10 to the 1st. So 8 minus 1 is 7, so this would be 10 to the 7th. Okay, and then on these two, we went ahead and expanded them and then crossed them off. All right, there's going to be a question like this, so pay attention to these. All right, I'm already telling you. Okay, on the quiz next week. All right, and then we also found out how much bigger New Hampshire, Hawaii shoreline is than New Hampshire. Okay, we also found out how much more population is there in Illinois than in Wyoming. Okay, and then we did summarize it too, the summary. So the summary is, we went ahead and answered this question. How do you multiply and divide expressions involving powers? So when you multiply them, you add the exponents, yes? When you divide them, like this, you subtract the exponents. Okay, so that was our summary here. When you multiply powers, you add the exponents. When you divide powers, you subtract the exponents. Okay, and the bottom one is important for 1.5 that we're about to enter. All right, so this is 1.3. All right, so 1.4 we just finished, so I'm not going to go over too much of it. You just got to remember here, when you have a power that looks like this, a power of a power, you multiply the exponents, okay? And then when you have something like this, where you have more than one base, because this is base and a base, this is to the power of 1, this is to the power of 2, they're all to the power of 3. You just got to understand that make sure you also increase this guy. Okay, some of you are forgetting that you're only doing this one. So some of you are saying this is 5x to the 6th because 2 times 3 is 6. No, don't forget that there's a 1 right here. So it's 5 to the 3rd, x to the 6th. Okay, that's all you got to remember. And yes, we are multiplying the exponents. So right here, you multiply the exponents, but don't forget that there's a 1 right there. Okay, also for this one. See how this one has it 4 times 3, 2 times 3, and then remember on the 3 right here, there is a 1. Don't forget that. Okay, so I'm not going to go too much into 1.4 because we just finished it. Okay, all right, guys, so good luck on that quiz. Hopefully this review helped you, and let's go on from there. So you will be having a quiz next week. For some of you next week, for some of you it'll be in a couple of days. All right, guys.